Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are diving deep into a topic that really gets people talking. It's that dream, right? Passive income.
It really is. Everyone seems to want it, that idea of money just showing up while you're sleeping, on vacation, whatever.
Exactly. Money that works for you, not the other way around. But let's be honest, the term passive income has kind of been hijacked online, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's become this flashy thing. You see all these get-rich-quick schemes, these super expensive courses promising the moon. We need to cut through all that noise right from the start.
Agreed. So let's set our mission for this deep dive. Forget the unrealistic hype. We're going for something focused, practical, totally achievable. We're going to break down the realistic step-by-step process for anyone, like an absolute beginner, to build their very first $100 in passive income, starting from scratch, zero.
And that $100 number, it's so important. It's not like the end goal where you retire.
No, not at all.
It's the proof. It's the validation. Once you actually build a system, any system, that reliably kicks off $100 a month without you actively working for it right then, well, you've cracked the code. You've shown the basic mechanics work.
That first $100 is like the seed, right? It proves the whole thing is possible.
Precisely. It validates the entire concept.
Okay, but before we jump into the how-to, the actual steps, we really need to tackle the foundation. There's this huge misconception that trips up so many people right at the beginning.
Yeah, it's about the definition itself. What is passive income?
People hear passive and they immediately think easy.
Or worse, no effort, like magic money.
Right. We got to clear that up right now. Passive income does not mean no work. Can we just shout that from the rooftops?
Please. It means you work often really hard actually once up front.
Yeah.
You build the system, the asset, whatever it is, and then because of that initial effort, that intellectual capital you put in, you get paid again and again, automatically.
It's the complete opposite of what most of us do, the active income world. Think about your job right now, if you're listening. If you trade your time directly for money, salary, hourly wage, freelance fees, it's active income.
Your time is finite. When you stop working,
The money stops. Simple as that. It's the treadmill.
yep. The passive world, though, is all about leverage. You're setting up assets, could be money, could be digital systems to do the work for you, 24/7.
Whether you're actively clicking buttons or not.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
called time arbitrage. You invest time now to basically buy back your future time. That's the real game.
And our first goal, our mission here, is just to get that initial $100 flowing automatically. Prove the system works. Prove you can make it work.
Yeah.
Okay, so making that switch from the active grind to building passive streams,
Yeah.
it really starts with the mindset shift. That's step one. And it's all in your head, really.
It is. You have to shift from thinking purely like a consumer to thinking like an investor.
And this is where so many beginners they hit a wall.
Yeah, they see the big picture, financial freedom, early retirement, whatever, and they get obsessed with hitting a home run immediately. Massive returns, quick flips.
Instead of focusing on the boring stuff.
Exactly. Instead of focusing on building small, solid, dependable systems, they want the lottery ticket, not the instruction manual for building the machine.
And that impatience is costly.
Mhm.
Because think about it, every $100 of real passive income you create, that's like giving yourself a raise.
A raise that doesn't disappear.
Right, it's perpetual. Compare that to your standard job raise, maybe 3% if you're lucky, often eaten up by inflation anyway. This $100 just keeps coming, month after month. No boss, no negotiation.
And the real power of that first $100, like we said, it's psychological more than anything.
It's not about buying more stuff with it initially.
No, it's the proof. It's tangible evidence that you can make money work for you instead of you always chasing the money. That's the pivot point.
From consumer to investor.
Breaking that cycle of just earning and spending, it's about delayed gratification fundamentally.
Yeah, let's linger on that for a second. Most people, right, they get an extra $50, maybe a small bonus. What's the first thought?
Spend it. New gadget, nice dinner out, something tangible now.
But the investor mindset sees that same $50 completely differently.
Totally. It's not spending money, it's building material. It's a brick. How can I put this brick back into the system to make more bricks?
That's the neurological switch you mentioned. Consumer brain wants instant pleasure.
Investor brain wants future security, future freedom. And to make that switch successfully, you need to understand that pretty much all passive income strategies boil down to two main paths.
Okay, path number one. This is the classic route, the one that usually needs some capital to start.
Right. You invest money you already have into assets that are designed to pay you back regularly. Think dividend stocks.
Where companies pay you a slice of their profits.
Or interest from bonds, maybe rental income from property if you go down that road. Basically, you deploy capital and the asset generates cash flow.
Okay, that's path one. What's path two?
Path two is more about investing your time and your skills. You build digital systems, online assets, things that generate income automatically once they're set up.
This is the world of, like, intellectual property online.
Exactly. Online courses, ebooks, maybe a monetized blog or YouTube channel, software, that kind of thing. You put in the human capital up front, and the system can scale, potentially reaching thousands or millions without much extra work per customer.
Got it. So capital intensive versus time intensive, both valid ways to build passive income.
Definitely. But for this deep dive, for nailing that first $100, we're going to lean heavily into path number one first, investing.
Why start there?
Well, a few key reasons for beginners. One, it's conceptually simpler to grasp initially. You don't need to become a digital marketing guru or a video editor right away.
Okay, simpler. What else?
Two, it's incredibly well proven. Investing in broad market assets has worked for decades, riding on the back of general economic growth. It's reliable, historically speaking.
And the third reason?
Accessibility. This is huge. You don't need a pile of cash to start. Thanks to things like fractional shares, which we'll get into, you can literally start building this system with maybe $10 or $20 consistently, week after week.
Okay, so investing is our starting point for that first $100. Simple, proven, accessible. Makes sense.
All right, so we've got the mindset shift covered, thinking like an investor. Now let's get tactical. Step one of the actual execution, know the math, set a super clear goal.
Right. You can't really hit a target if you haven't, defined what the target is. Vague goals lead to vague results, or usually no results.
Exactly. So let's tackle the big number head on. Let's answer the question. Realistically, how much money do I need invested to generate $100 per month passively?
Okay, the math part. This means we have to make an assumption, right, about how much return we can expect.
We do. And let's be conservative but realistic. If we look at historical averages for a diversified portfolio, especially one tilted a bit towards dividend-paying stocks, aiming for something like an 8% average annual return is a reasonable, historically supported figure.
Okay, 8% per year. So if we want $100 per month, that's $1,200 per year. 100 times 12.
Right. So do the math. $1,200 is 8% of what number? You divide $1,200 by 0.08.
And you get $15,000.
$15,000 invested, generating that 8% average return, kicking off $1,200 a year or $100 a month.
Okay, 15 grand. I can hear someone listening right now, maybe starting with nothing, thinking, whoa, hang on, $15,000, I don't have that. I thought this was for beginners.
And that reaction is totally understandable. It sounds like a huge, maybe impossible number when you're at zero.
That's the psychological trap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Focusing only on the finish line makes it seem too far away.
Precisely. So let me emphasize this. Do not panic. That $15,000 is the destination. It's the target portfolio size for this specific goal of 100 month. It is absolutely not the starting line.
If you only stare at the $15 K, you'll just feel overwhelmed. You'll probably give up before you even start.
100%. The key is to shift your focus. Forget the $15 K for now. Focus on the process, the journey, and break it down.
Break it down into smaller steps.
Tiny steps. Sequential, measurable goals that build momentum. You are not aiming for $100 a month tomorrow. Your very first concrete goal. Get to $10 a month in passive income.
Just $10.
Just 10. Hit that. Feel the win. Validate the process. Then leverage that feeling, that proof, to push for $25 a month.
Okay. Then maybe $50.
Exactly. Then $50, you iterate. You keep building the system, adding capital, letting it compound until that $100 a month just happens automatically because the system you built is doing the work.
These smaller goals are like checkpoints. They give you that constant positive reinforcement. Taking $10 proves the math works, proves your consistency matters.
And it gives you the fuel to keep going, right?
Yeah.
To keep making those weekly contributions, maybe finding ways to add a bit more when you can. It makes the whole journey feel manageable, not terrifying.
It also puts a realistic time frame on it. I mean, if you're only putting in $10 a week.
That's $520 a year, getting to $15,000 just on that. Yeah, that'll take a while. Decades, maybe.
But that's not really the point of the first $100 goal, is it?
Not entirely. The point of hitting that $10, then $25, then the $100 isn't just about the slow drip of your own contributions. It's about using the proof that the system works to motivate you to find more capital to feed the system.
Okay. So seeing it work encourages you to maybe, I don't know, cut an expense or try to earn a bit more on the side, specifically to accelerate the investment.
Precisely. Maybe you sell stuff you don't need. Maybe you negotiate a raise at work knowing where that extra money is going. The initial success validates the extra effort, which then fuels faster growth towards that $15,000 target.
All right, mindset is shifting. We understand the math, the $50K target, and the small steps to get there. Now for step 2, actually starting small, but being ruthlessly consistent with investing.
This is the engine room. This is how we turn that theory into reality week by week. Passive income, especially from dividends, is built on consistency. It's not about timing the market. It's about time in the market.
And the example from the source material was super simple and accessible. Just commit to investing $10 every single week.
$10. For most people, that's doable. Maybe it's cutting one fancy coffee or packing lunch one extra day. The amount is less important initially than the habit, the consistency. Automating that action is key.
Okay, before we talk about what to buy with that $10, let's talk about where. The absolute beginner listening needs to know the mechanics. Where does the $10 go?
You need a gateway to the market. That means opening a brokerage account.
Okay, like the online platforms you hear about.
Exactly. There are tons of them now. Fidelity, Schwab, Vanguard, Robinhood, M1 Finance. Many offer commission-free trading, which is great for small amounts. But there's one feature that's absolutely crucial for this $10 a week strategy.
What's that?
The ability to buy fractional shares.
Fractional shares. Explain that.
Okay, so back in the day, if a share of, say, Apple cost $180, you needed $180 to buy one share. If you only had $10, you were basically stuck. You couldn't buy anything.
Locked out.
Fractional shares change that completely. They let you buy a piece of a share. So with your $10, you can buy $10 worth of that $180 Apple share. You'd own, what, like 118th of a share?
Oh, okay. So your $10 gets put to work immediately, buying tiny slices of potentially expensive stocks or funds.
Exactly. It democratizes investing. It makes that consistent $10 weekly investment strategy actually possible and efficient. So rule 1. Pick a broker that offers fractional shares. Most major ones do now.
Got it. Brokerage account opened, fractional shares enabled. Now the big question, what should you actually buy with that $10 every week? The recommendation was pretty specific. Broad market ETFs, especially those that pay dividends. You mentioned VOO, VTI, SCHD. Let's decode that alphabet soup a bit.
Sure. So ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. Think of it like a basket that holds lots of different stocks, sometimes hundreds or even thousands.
Instead of buying one company, you're buying a whole collection.
Precisely. And VOO, VTI, SCHD are just ticker symbols for popular examples.
VOO tracks the S&P 500.
The 500 biggest U.S. companies. Right. So when you put $10 into VOO, you instantly own tiny fractions of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Johnson & Johnson, the whole lot. 497 others, too.
Okay, that sounds way less risky than putting my $10 into just one single company that might, tank.
That's the whole point. Diversification is built in. VTI is even broader. It tracks basically the entire U.S. stock market, thousands of companies, big and small.
Wow, okay. And SCHD, you said that one's different.
SCHD is specifically designed with dividends in mind. It focuses on companies that have a strong track record of paying dividends and growing them over time. So if your primary goal is that passive cash flow from dividends, SCHD is often a popular choice.
So for a beginner just aiming for that first $100 of passive income, any of these VOO, VTI, SCHD would be a solid starting point, low-cost diversified.
Absolutely. They handle the diversification and risk management for you. You just focus on the consistent investing.
Okay. Now for the magic part, the thing that actually makes it passive income, the dividend. What exactly is a dividend? Where does this money come from?
It's simple, really. A dividend is just a portion of a company's profits that they decide to share directly with their owners, the shareholders.
So because I own a tiny piece of VOO, which owns pieces of hundreds of companies making profits.
Those companies decide, hey, things are going well, let's give some cash back to our owners. And because VOO holds those shares, it receives those dividends, and then it passes them through to you, the owner of VO.
And this cash just shows up.
Yep. It appears automatically in your brokerage account, usually quarterly, sometimes monthly, depending on the fund. You didn't sell anything, you didn't work an extra hour, you didn't click a button. It's just there.
That's passive income in its purest form.
It really is. And this is where the psychology starts to shift powerfully. When you get that first dividend deposit, maybe it's only 50 cents, maybe it's $1.50. That tiny amount is everything.
Right. So small.
Because it's the seed. It's the concrete proof that the machine works. Money you invested just created new money all by itself. You've successfully generated your first passive dollar or fraction of a dollar. The concept is validated.
Okay. So every week I put in my $10, I'm buying more tiny pieces, watering that seed. And occasionally these little bursts of cash, the dividends, show up. The critical next step then is, what do I do with that 50 cents or $1.50?
Ah, yes. That decision leads us directly into the powerhouse of wealth creation. Compounding. Step 3.
All right, step 3, engaging the compounding engine. You said step 2, consistent investing, was like planting the seed. So this step is about what? Making it grow into a giant redwood.
Exactly. This is where the real magic happens over time. It's arguably the most crucial part of the early journey, especially when you're building towards that initial $15K or even just the first 100 a month goal. It's the difference between just saving money and actually accelerating your wealth.
Okay, so what's the core principle here?
There's one absolute non-negotiable rule for beginners in this phase while you're still building that capital base. Do not spend the passive income yet.
Don't spend the dividends.
Not a single penny. You must reinvest everything you earn, every dividend, every distribution. That's how you harness exponential growth instead of just linear growth.
Explain that. If I get, say, a $2 dividend, what happens if I spend it versus reinvesting it?
If you take that $2 and buy a coffee, okay, you enjoyed the coffee, but you've broken the compounding cycle. You took passive income and immediately turned it back into active consumption.
The money left the system.
Correct. It stopped working for you. But if you reinvest that $2,
What happens?
that $2 buys you more fractional shares of VOO or whatever you're investing in. Now you own slightly more shares than you did before.
Okay.
So
Okay.
next quarter, when the company pays dividends again, your payout will be slightly higher because you own more shares. Maybe instead of $2, you get $2.02.
Ah, I see. And then that $2.02 gets reinvested.
Buys even more shares, which leads to an even higher dividend next time, maybe $2.05, and so on. It creates a positive feedback loop.
The snowball analogy comes to mind. Rolling downhill.
It's the perfect analogy. Your initial $10 investments are like starting a small snowball at the top of a hill. It moves slowly at first. The dividends, the snow it picks up on the first roll, are tiny, maybe just pennies or dimes.
Like your $1.50 dividend.
Exactly. But when you reinvest that $1.50, the snowball gets marginally bigger. The next time it rolls, because it's slightly bigger, it picks up slightly more snow, maybe it's 55 cents. That extra nickel seems insignificant.
But it means the snowball is now bigger still and growing faster.
Precisely. The bigger it gets, the more surface area it has, the more snow it picks up with each revolution. The growth starts to accelerate. That's compounding. Pennies turn into dimes, dimes into dollars, dollars into significant income, purely because you keep rolling it back into the system.
Okay, so the cycle is get dividends, use dividends to buy more shares. Owning more shares means bigger future dividends, which buy even more shares. It feeds itself.
Beautifully put. And the best part, you can make this totally automatic. You don't have to manually log in and buy shares every time a tiny dividend hits.
How?
Through something called a DRIP, Dividend Reinvestment Plan.
DRP.
Almost every modern brokerage offers this. You just check a box, basically, for each holding. You instruct them. Whenever this stock or ETF pays a dividend, automatically use that cash to buy more fractional shares of the same stock or ETF.
So it's completely hands-off.
Yeah.
Set it and forget it.
Pretty much. The $2 dividend comes in, the system instantly buys $2 worth of VOO, or whatever. You now own slightly more VOO, and your next dividend is guaranteed to be a fraction higher. It takes willpower and the temptation to spend it right out of the equation.
That sounds powerful. Removing the human element of temptation.
It is. Reinvesting automatically puts your wealth building on autopilot. It might not feel like much when it's just a couple of bucks being reinvested, but look at the long-term charts. The difference between someone who reinvests dividends and someone who takes them as cash is absolutely staggering over 10, 20, 30 years.
Really? How much is a difference?
Often, after a decade or two, the growth that came just from reinvested dividends can account for 30%, 40%, sometimes even more of the total portfolio value. It's the hidden engine.
Wow. Okay, so rule #1 for beginners. Turn on the DRIP. Reinvest everything. That's how you turn the trickle into a real flow and actually reach that $15,000 target or the 100-month goal much, much faster than just relying on your $10 weekly deposits alone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's the core engine.
Okay, so we've got the core engine running, consistent 10-a-week investment into something like VOO with DRIP turned on so all dividends are automatically reinvested. That machine is humming along. What's next? Step 4 seems to be about adding another layer. diversifying with digital leverage.
Exactly. Once that primary investment engine is automated and running smoothly, meaning you've built the habit, the DRIP is on, it requires minimal active thought, then you can start thinking about stacking other systems on top to potentially accelerate reaching that 100-month goal, especially if finding extra cash to invest is tough.
And this is where path 2 comes back in, the time-intensive path we mentioned earlier.
Precisely. We called it digital leverage. This is about using your time, skills, and creativity to build income streams online that can scale.
Scale, meaning you do the work once, but it can reach many people.
Yeah. Unlike your day job where you trade 1 hour for 1 hour's pay, or a freelancer who serves one client at a time, a digital asset allows your initial work to potentially serve thousands or millions of customers without your time input increasing proportionally. Work once, sell infinitely, basically.
And the big advantage here is that starting these often requires less capital, right? More time and effort.
Generally, yes. Much lower barrier to entry financially compared to, say, buying a rental property. It's more about intellectual capital. Your knowledge, your skills, your creativity.
Okay, so the source material gave 3 specific examples of these digital leverage plays that a beginner could explore after getting their investment habit locked down. What were they?
First one was creating an ebook or some kind of simple digital product.
Like a guide or templates.
Exactly. And the key here for a beginner is niche. Don't try to write the definitive guide to everything. Create something super specific that solves a clear problem, like the 7-day meal plan for busy professionals using only a microwave, or 15 Canva templates for eye-catching Instagram stories.
Something targeted.
Very targeted. The upfront work is the writing, the design, maybe some basic formatting, but once it's done, you can put it up for sale on platforms like Gumroad, Etsy, maybe even Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing.
And the platform handles the sales and delivery.
Mostly, yeah. It's largely automated. If you price your guide at, say, $19, you only need to sell about 5 copies a month to hit close to that $100 mark from this stream alone. And whether you sell 5 or 500, the work you did up front stays the same. That's leverage.
Okay, example 1. Niche ebook or digital product. What was number 2?
Starting a YouTube automation channel.
Okay, automation sounds interesting. Does that mean I don't have to be on camera?
Often, yes. These channels typically focus on informational content. Think listicles. Top 10. Historical facts, maybe simple animated explainers, summaries of news or books. You could write the scripts, then potentially hire a voiceover artist, or even use high-quality AI voice tools, combined with stock footage or simple animations.
So the content creation can be systemized, maybe even outsourced partially.
Right. The key is picking a niche that has ongoing interest, evergreen topics, and producing consistent content. Monetization usually comes from YouTube's ad revenue sharing program.
So once the video is up and getting views, it's earning passively through ads.
Potentially, yes. As long as people are watching, it generates income without you actively doing anything to that specific video anymore. It becomes a digital asset earning residuals.
Got it. Example 3.
Building a niche blog or website monetized with affiliate links.
Affiliate links. That's where you recommend a product and get a cut if someone buys it.
Exactly. So you'd write helpful, in-depth articles solving a specific problem or answering a common question. For instance, the best budget laptops for college students, under $500 in 2024.
Okay, real practical advice.
Yeah. And within that article, where you genuinely recommend specific laptops, you include special tracked links, affiliate links, to where people can buy them, like Amazon or Best Buy.
And if someone clicks your link and buys a laptop?
You earn a commission, maybe 3–8% depending on the program. Again, the work is upfront, writing a really good, helpful article that hopefully ranks well in Google search results.
But once it's ranking, it can just sit there earning commissions for months or years.
That's the idea. It acts like a 24/7 virtual salesperson for those products, working while you sleep.
Okay, ebook, YouTube automation, affiliate blog, 3 solid examples.
Yeah.
But here comes the warning, right? Because this sounds like it could get overwhelming fast.
Huge warning. The absolute worst thing you can do is try to do all 3 of these at once, or even 2 at once initially.
Why? Spreading yourself too thin?
Totally. Remember, the goal is building passive systems. If you're juggling writing an ebook, scripting YouTube videos, and learning SEO for a blog all at the same time, you haven't built any passive systems. You've just created 3 demanding active jobs for yourself.
Back to trading all your time for money, just in a different way.
Exactly. The critical rule here is focus. Master one system first. Get your dividend investing automated and humming along. Then, if you want to add digital leverage, pick one of these models, the one that best fits your skills and interests, and focus only on that until it's either generating income passively or you've proven it doesn't work for you.
Make one system truly passive before trying to build another.
Yes, get proof points. Validate one stream before diverting energy to the next shiny object. Otherwise, you'll just spin your wheels and burn out. All right, so let's say you've got your investment engine automated with DRAP on. Maybe you've even started working on one digital leverage project, like that niche ebook. Now we hit step 5, which sounds kind of boring, but is actually critical for keeping yourself motivated and on track.
Ah, the tracking step. Yeah, this is the one people tend to skip, isn't it? Feels like homework.
It does, but skipping it is a huge mistake. Tracking is what elevates this from a hopeful hobby to a serious project. It provides accountability. If you're not measuring your progress, how do you know if you're actually moving forward? How do you stay motivated when things feel slow?
Okay, so what exactly should you be tracking? We're not talking complex spreadsheets here, are we?
No, keep it super simple, especially at first. The key action is once a month. Set a reminder. Open your brokerage app, maybe a simple spreadsheet, or even a notebook, and record 2 key numbers.
Just 2. What are they?
Number 1, how much new capital did you actively invest that month? So your regular $10 weekly contributions, plus any extra lump sums you managed to put in, that's your input.
Okay, how much I added. What's number 2?
Number 2, and this is the crucial one for this exercise. How much actual passive income did the system generate that month? This means dividends received before reinvestment, any affiliate commissions that cleared, net revenue from your ebook sales, ad revenue from YouTube, etc., separate from your own contributions.
Got it. My input versus the system's output. Why is tracking this output so important, especially when the numbers are tiny at the start?
Because of the motivational power. Look, when you first start, that passive income number is going to be small. Maybe it's $2. Then next month it's $2.50. Then $4. Then maybe $8 if a few affiliate sales hit. Then back to $5.
Yeah, those numbers don't exactly scream financial freedom. They barely cover a coffee.
Exactly. In isolation, $2 or $5 feels completely meaningless. It's easy to think, why am I even bothering?
But tracking lets you see the trend line.
Precisely. When you track it month after month, even if the numbers are small, you start to see the curve. You see $2 become $4, become $8, become $15, become $30. You visually witness the upward trajectory towards that $100 goal.
It combats that feeling of spinning your wheels.
Totally. It's tangible proof that your efforts, your consistency are adding up, even if it feels slow day to day. It keeps you engaged during what can be a long, slow burn initially.
And I guess it also helps you spot problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you've been working on that affiliate blog for 6 months, tracking shows you're getting traffic but 0 commissions. Well, that tells you something's wrong. Maybe your links are broken, maybe the content isn't converting, maybe the niche is bad.
It allows for course correction.
Yeah.
You're treating it like a mini business, analyzing the results.
You have to. And the real magic moment, the long-term payoff of tracking, it's when you look at your monthly passive income number, maybe it's finally hit $80, $99, or $100, and you suddenly realize
Right.
that the increase in your passive income from one quarter to the next, just from dividends and maybe some digital sales, is actually more than the annual raise you got at your job.
Oh, okay, that's a perspective shift.
That's the moment it clicks. It's not just about the $100 anymore. It's the tangible proof that you've successfully built an income stream that grows on its own, independent of you trading more hours. You see the system working and accelerating. That's incredibly powerful motivation.
Okay, we've covered the practical steps. The mindset, the math, starting small with consistent investing, reinvesting everything via DRIP, potentially adding one digital leverage stream, and tracking it all religiously. That brings us to the final piece, step 6. And this one feels less tactical, more philosophical, maintaining a long-term focus.
It is less about clicks and more about your psychology, your endurance. Because ultimately, building meaningful passive income isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. We live in this world that screams for instant gratification, right? Everything's on demand.
Yeah, get it now, pay later, see results immediately.
And building wealth, especially through investing, is the polar opposite of that. It requires patience, it requires consistency over years, sometimes decades, and frankly, the #1 reason beginners fail.
They quit too soon.
They quit too soon. They don't see those huge results in the first 6 months or the first year, and they get discouraged. They think it's not working.
Especially when, like you said, that $15,000 target feels so far away when you're just putting in $40 a month. And maybe the market even drops.
Right. It can feel like you're going backwards sometimes. That's why having the right mental framework is crucial. We need an analogy here.
The tree analogy, you mentioned it earlier.
Let's really flesh it out. Imagine you plant a tiny sapling. You know it has the potential to become a huge, strong tree, maybe bear fruit someday. What do?
You water it regularly, protect it from pests, give it sunlight.
Right. You provide consistent care, and you trust the process. You trust biology, time, and consistency will do the work. What you don't do
Is dig it up every single week to check if the roots are growing.
exactly. That impatience would kill the very thing you're trying to grow. You'd destroy the system.
So our investments, our dividend stocks, maybe that affiliate blog, they're like that sapling.
Precisely. They need time to mature, to compound, to establish themselves. Constantly checking your brokerage balance multiple times a day, panicking over every little dip, trying to time the market perfectly. That's digging up the roots. It's counterproductive.
We absolutely have to talk about market volatility here because anyone starting this journey will experience a market downturn. It's inevitable.
Guaranteed. You will see scary headlines. You will see your portfolio value drop maybe 10%, 20%, maybe even more temporarily during a real crash. Your $1,000 might suddenly look like $800.
And the natural human instinct is to panic. Sell everything. Cut your losses.
Which is almost always the worst possible thing to do. The key, the superpower of the long-term investor, is non-reaction. Or rather, sticking to the plan.
Keep investing that $10 a week, even when the market's down.
Especially when the market's down. If you have the discipline to keep investing consistently during a dip, what are you doing? You're buying those same great ETFs, those pieces of solid companies on sale.
Your $10 is buying slightly more shares than it did when prices were high.
Exactly. You're essentially setting yourself up for even greater returns when the market eventually recovers, which historically, it always has, given enough time. It requires trusting the long-term process over short-term fear.
So patience and consistency aren't just virtues. They're actual strategies.
They are the ultimate competitive edge. Look, everyone has access to buy VOO or VTI. The information is out there. The platforms are accessible. What separates those who succeed from those who don't often isn't some secret knowledge. It's the discipline.
The discipline to stick with the plan, automate the reinvestment with DRIP, ignore the daily noise, and just let time and compounding do their work.
That's it. That sustained patience, coupled with the automated systems we've talked about, that's what transforms small, consistent steps into genuine financial progress, is how you get to that first $100 milestone and then keep going.
Okay, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, let's circle back to where we started, that first $100. We've broken down how to get there, but let's really underline its significance again. It's more than just money, isn't it?
Oh, way more. That first $100 a month earned passively. It's a message. It's tangible, undeniable proof hitting your account that financial freedom isn't some impossible dream or a secret code only the wealthy know.
It's based on math, realistic math.
And patience. Disciplined application of simple principles. It proves you can shift from being just a consumer in the economy to being an owner, a producer, even on a small scale initially.
And once you achieve it, once you see that $100 land in your account, automatically knowing the system you built delivered it without you trading active hours for it, right then, does it change how you see things?
It has to. You can never really look at money or your time in quite the same way again. That default consumer mindset, the urge for immediate gratification with every spare dollar, it starts to break down.
It gets replaced by that investor's lens. Seeing money as a tool.
Yeah, a tool for building more freedom. It creates this foundational belief, okay, I figured out how to make $100 work for me. The difference between that and $1,000 or $5,000 a month isn't magic. It's just time, scale, and staying consistent. You've proven the core concept of leverage works.
So, if someone's been listening to this whole deep dive, what's the final crystal clear call to action? What should they do today?
Stop waiting. Seriously, stop waiting for the perfect time or for a big windfall of cash to get started. That day might never come. The time is right now.
Start small.
Incredibly small if you have to. Automate that very first investment. Even if it's just $10 going into VOO or SCHD this week, set it up to happen automatically.
And commit to that golden rule for the early days.
Absolutely. Turn on the DRIP, dividend reinvestment plan. Commit right now that every single cent earned from those initial investments will go right back into buying more shares. Let the compounding engine start its work immediately.
Watch your money start its journey towards working harder than you do.
That's the goal.
Okay, and that leads perfectly into our final listener challenge. A provocative thought to take away from this. Once you do hit that $100 a month milestone, once that passive income stream is reliably flowing, what then?
Don't just let it get absorbed back into your everyday spending. Don't just increase your lifestyle by $100. Think bigger.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, how can I take this successful $100 a month system, this small but functioning cash flow machine, and use it as the seed capital for my next income-generating system?
So using the passive income to build more passive income. Stacking system.
Exactly. Maybe that $100 a month pays for the hosting for your affiliate blog. Maybe it accumulates for a few months and buys a piece of equipment you need for a digital product. Maybe it just significantly accelerates your core investment portfolio growth.
So that first $100 isn't the finish line you coast on.
No, it's the launch pad. It's the proof of concept, the functioning engine that you can now leverage to build the next layer of your financial freedom. It proves you've made the shift. Now, go build on it.
Powerful stuff. The first step. Go set up that first $10 investment right now.